love ghost stories, the supernatural, and I love to be frightened, so it's probably not surprising that the Medici Mirror is the book I've written. The spark of the idea for it came from reading another novel, in which the protagonist, a man alone, was holed up in a spooky old house miles from anywhere. He discovered an old, darkened mirror. Now, while this mirror wasn't discoloured through age, it had layers of dirt and dust and grime on it. The whole ambience of the novel at this point was incredibly claustrophobic, magical, mystical, and that was the kind of otherworldly atmosphere that I wanted to create. It also gave me the idea of using a darkened mirror. Mirrors lend themselves to ideas of the magical, the arcane. What do we see when we look into a mirror? A reflection can only ever be, at best, a back-to-front image of who we are, something twisted. Some believed that mirrors trapped demons and devils within them. Witches, white and dark, have used them for seeing, for divination. The ancient Greeks believed that mirrors invited death because the reflection captured the soul. And what of a darkened mirror? There was something even more haunting about that for me. Was it simply old, or had somebody done something to it? When I started researching the history of mirrors, the name I kept coming across was Catherine de Medici. She was the wife of King Henri II of France. She had countless mirrors, and she was responsible for designing the Hall of Mirrors after his death. She was also a member of the infamous Medici clan, plotters and poisoners, and she herself had a reputation for involvement in magic and the occult. She also had a fascinating personal life. She'd been married off to Henri when she was just 14 years of age, and she loved him from the beginning, but the feeling wasn't entirely mutual. Throughout practically the whole of their married life, he had an older, much more beautiful mistress who he very clearly loved. And that, for Catherine, I'm sure, provoked a number of emotions: fear, longing, hatred, resentment. And so the darkened mirror in my mind evolved into a reflection, perhaps, of Catherine herself. The Medici Mirror moves between the 16th century French court of Catherine and 21st century London, where Johnny, an architect, is renovating an old Victorian shoe factory. While he's mapping the building, he discovers a long-abandoned underground room and finds within it an old, darkened Venetian mirror. He's drawn back to the room time and again, and it begins to exert a powerful, malign influence over both him and his new lover, Ophelia. What happened in that room? And why has he suddenly started to see a young, beautiful woman in his dreams? A woman who tells him that she's dead, and also appears to want to tell him something else. As he begins to explore the history of the factory and the mirror in more detail, he begins to wonder what erotic games the Victorian factory owner played in the cellar, and whether they tipped over into murder. And every path he seems to follow leads back to Catherine. Can he untangle the mystery and save himself and Ophelia before it's too late? The Medici Mirror is a ghost story. It's also a murder mystery, but perhaps more than anything else, it's a story about love.